So say you don't feel comfortable with defying the law. There are so many ways that you can still stay within the confines of your country's legal handbook. I've been covering civil disobedience to review the sentiment explored in my latest musical venture, but have you heard of one of its closest relatives, uncivil obedience? If civil disobedience violates the law while respecting its authority, uncivil obedience obeys the law but disrespects its purpose or legitimacy. Let's get into it. The purpose of uncivil obedience is to change laws, but it does so by mastering the system's rules. So the first step for any aspiring uncivil obedient citizen is to dissect the social problem that they're seeking to solve and uncover the many layers that cause the problem in the first place. Funnily enough, uncivil obedience has frequently been linked to conservative Christian groups seeking to ostracize, insert all the people they hate here. In 1993, a federal law was passed that you might be familiar with. It's called the Religious Freedom Restoration Act. The law prohibits the government from creating substantial burdens on citizens' free exercise of religion. While conservative Christians saw this as an opportunity to resist progressive policies like same-sex marriage and the Affordable Care Act, arguing that accessible contraceptives and members of the LGBTQ+ collective went against their faith. But let's get into some progressive acts of uncivil obedience, shall we? In 2022, Utah legislators passed a bill requiring the review and removal of indecent books targeting LGBTQ+ content and minority authors. In light of the book ban, parents from the school district affected started complaining about the contents of the Bible and asking it be added to the list of forbidden literature. They argued that the holy book contained vulgarity and violence, so it was clearly inappropriate for minors to have access to it on school premises. The trend spread to other states, highlighting the ludicrous nature of a book ban to begin with, in some instances successfully removing the Bible from school libraries and syllabuses. Another good example you may remember happened in November of 2025 when community members and organizers gathered at the Home Depot in Monrovia to demand that the company intervene and forbid ICE detention officers from scouring their parking lots for victims. This happened after Carlos Roberto Montoya Valdez was struck and killed on a nearby freeway while trying to escape their unlawful arrest. In an act of uncivil obedience, protesters purchased a single 17-cent ice scraper. As soon as they bought it, they returned it. This is known as a buy-in, an action that does not defy the law in any way, but does cause meaningful disruption to business, sending a clear message and drawing attention to the matter at hand. Boycotting is also a great act of uncivil obedience. This, of course, includes divesting from the terrible companies who have been adding fuel to the fires ignited around the world. Probably one of the most effective and easily accessible acts of uncivil obedience, as billionaires can only get off if they're making money, not losing it. Ask Elon Musk. You there. If you've gone this far, remember that human creativity is boundless and you have within your mind all the tools you need to stand up and be a pesky little bitch. Find your favorite act of uncivil obedience and annoy the crap out of the people who should be in prison for their crimes, not ruling our governments.